Right, yes, there you're just right on time for On the Sport Show. This the 22nd day of February. Indeed, it's an amazing day, and of course, you have much and more lined up for you. A very packed up lined up for today's show, from football to rugby to boxing. A lot is happening in the world of sports. And remember, we are talking about Team Kenya's, especially the women football team, that is Harambee Starlets. Remember, yesterday they were playing the qualification match, the Africa Women qualification match, and of course, in these qualifiers, they played out to a stalemate draw against Tunisia. Well, the return leg will be played on the 26th of February. That is the ultimate decider if they will be progressing to the next round or they'll live to try again. And of course, that will be played away game in Tunis against Tunisia's side, a team that is fairly ranked above Kenya when it comes to football affairs. And on a flip side of it, in the Vancouver Sevens, remember Team Kenya has already suffered 2 defeats already, and their first match against Argentina, they were beaten 24-0, and then 33-7 against France. Their moment of redemption, however, might come against Great Britain, a match that will be played later on tonight at exactly 22:45 East African time, and we'll be waiting to see how the event will be panning out. Remember, that will be the ultimate. Team Kenya will be playing to either redeem themselves and of course save themselves from the imminent relegation should they project or rather continue with the same results and projection. It's a very intense Group A fixture against one of the most dominant teams in the World Rugby 7 series, the ongoing series that is currently being played right now in Canada, the Vancouver Sevens. And we'll be bringing you up to speed with what transpired there, what to expect, and of course, remember, on a flip side, like I told you, we have the Kenya Football Federation Cup that will be played today and of course tomorrow. A couple of fixtures. Remember, this is a cup, and of course a cup to determine which team will be representing Kenya in the CAF Confederation Cup. This is the second tier of the Africa Football Federation Continental Championship. We have the CAF Champions League and now the CAF Confederation. This is just a similar of Europa League, and of course this particular FKF Cup has the determinant. This determines which team will be playing in the next round, or rather the next season, when this tournament officially kicks off. And this is just in the process to try and gain ticket to represent the country. Remember, the defending champions, or rather the FKF Cup champions, are the Kenya Police, and of course these are the winners of the last edition. And up to that, and of course today now the round of 64 will be kicking off across various venues in the country, and it's quite interesting. And we'll be crossing over to the UEFA Champions League. We have the round of 16 fixtures that you'll be you by today you'll know which team your favorite team will be playing against. And of course Liverpool will be playing against PSG, some of hotly contested race in that. And of course, apart from that, we have the English Premier League fixtures for today, and of course tomorrow. And talking about tomorrow we have the Battle of the Titan, a clash between Manchester City and of course Liverpool, and that will be forming the basis of our discussion. And of course, you can chip in, you can keep on talking to us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, you're coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can tweet us on X at KUTV_Kenya. You can tweet me personally on X at KUTV at Auma Events. Remember to use the hashtag on the spot, and we'll be sure to sample all of your feedback during and at the tail end of our show today. And of course, just to get you started, and of course we want just to bring you up to speed with some of the stories that will be forming the basis of our show today. All right, so we begin with, this is a very hard and a very painful message actually to break it down to you. Now, in the Vancouver Sevens, the national sevens men team Shuja endured a rough start to their Vancouver Sevens campaign, suffering a back-to-back defeat against dominant Argentina and 2024 Olympic champions France. Argentina's physical dominance and was on another class, too good or rather to be too much for Team Kenya. Was their class was too much for Team Kenya as Moneta completed his hat-trick before halftime, subjecting Kenya to 24-0 defeat in their opening Pool A before being subjected to similar fate by France. Kenya's final match will be against Great Britain at 10:58 p.m. in East Africa time in a do-or-die affair for fight for survival. All right, so that is what transpired um, in the Vancouver Sevens. That is the national rugby seven side team Shujas are being subjected to 24-0 defeat against Argentina. I remember this is a team that has crafted the art of beating Kenya. They have beaten Kenya 21 times, and of course Kenya has only won 7 times against this Argentine team, and it can tell the caliber of a team that Kenya was playing against in terms of physicality, technicality. Uh, by all means, Argentina stands head, shoulder above Kenya by all pedigree. And of course, we wish the team all the best, even as they look forward for the remaining match against Great Britain in Pool A, and we do hope that they will actually win this one out in order to fancy their chances of improving from their previous, or rather their current standing. Remember, Kenya sits ninth on the table with only 14 points out of almost 4 rounds of the World Rugby Sevens matches that have been played so far. Now, switching gears to WAFCON qualifiers. Now, the national women's football team, Harambee Starlets and Tunisia, played out to a stalemate draw in the first leg of the African Cup of Nations women qualifiers at Ulinzi Complex. Kenya was blunt in the attack line, missing out on clear chances to put the game out of Tunisia's reach. To capitalize on home advantage, the Beldin Odemba-led charge will play Tunisia in the return leg on the 26th of February in Tunis, with the aggregate winner of this advancing to the next round to face either Niger or Gambia in the next round of the qualifiers. All right. Remember this particular match really left a lot of fans frustrated, and the game is wide open. Any team can carry the day, or rather, any team can advance to the next round. Remember, 26th of February is the date. A date with destiny await Harambe Starlets. Will they be able to overcome the Tunisia side? Well, that is a big question that we'll be waiting to see. Remember, Kenya will be seeking or will be eyeing to qualify for the second time. The first time they qualified for the Africa Women Cup of Nations was in 2016, and they will be eyeing this ticket for the second time to make it in the continental showpiece. And of course, we really wish the team all the best, even as they endeavor to bring the ticket home. Now, let's switch gears to some athletics action. It is system all go ahead of eagerly anticipated Sirikwa Classic cross-country meet slated for this Saturday at Lobo Village in Eldoret City in Uasin Gishu County. The fourth edition of the World Athletics Gold Tour event has attracted over 40 athletes from 14 countries. Among them include the great Chepsaita Great Run cross-country champion Lois Chepkwemoi from Uganda, Gelanu Getu Hordofa, and Emebet Kedede Disia of Ethiopia, among other athletes. Women's 1500 meters world record holder Faith Kipyegon and women's 10-kilometer world record holder Agnes Jebet Ngetich are among the local athletes who will headline Team Kenya. Alright, that is the Sirikwa Classic Cross Country Championship that is currently underway. Remember, we have Team Kenya, of course, will be represented by the likes of Faith Kipyegon, and the fourth edition of Sirikwa Cross Country Championship has attracted at least 14 athletes from 14 nations. Now, let's switch gears to some rugby action. As the Kenya Cup regular season races toward its final stretch with only 3 rounds left before the playoffs, the Battle of the Titan is expected today as two of the dominant teams this season, KCB and Oilers, face off at the Den. In other fixtures, Impala RFC will welcome the Storm of Mwamba RFC at Impala Grounds. At the same time, Strathmore Leos will lock horns with Nakuru RFC at Madaraka, a clash that promises unrelenting intensity as each side aims for a strong finish and evade relegation, as Kisumu RFC host KU Blackblood at the SK Showground in Mamboleo, with both teams fighting to ascend the log, among other fixtures lined up for today. Alright, from some rugby action, let's take a look at some of the Football Kenya Federation Cup fixtures lined up for today and of course tomorrow. The round of 64 Football Kenya Federation matches, the 2024-2025 season is set to kick off this weekend, and those matches are currently underway, some of them at various venues across the country. Defending champions Kenya Police RFC will begin their title defense against FKF Regional League side Superior Hotels FC of Naivasha, while Kakamega Homeboys will throw their hat in the ring to take on, or rather in a bid to hunt for CAF Confederation ticket, with a trip to Kisumu to face Tibim Health. FC Leopards will be out to make history again when they face Dero FC, a team they punished severely in 2017, 15-0. The last time these two sides met at this stage at Moi Stadium in Kisumu among fixtures. Alright, those are very exciting and promising fixtures with a lot of history, a lot of goals, and a lot of teams trying to stake their dominance. One thing about the FKF Cup is that this is a rotational kind of affair. Today is Kakamega Homeboys, tomorrow Kenya Police, FC Leopards, Gor Mahia, and that is the beauty of this particular cup, a very prestigious one. And remember, all is at stake because this is a ticket to represent Kenya in the continental affairs, the CAF Confederation Championship. And that is very interesting, and it will be quite intense to see how teams will be performing. Remember, some of the teams that we consider to be underdogs, sometimes they put up a very good fight and they surprise the big dogs. Well, remember the casing point, what happened with Gor Mahia last season? Who would have thought that a team from National Super League will actually edge them out in this FKF Cup? Well, quite interesting affairs to see how the event will pan out. Now, to some English football action. Everton will play host to Manchester United in the early English Premier League kickoff at Goodison Park. In other fixtures lined up for today, Mikel Arteta's side will face off with West Ham United in a London derby at Emirates Stadium, while Chelsea will travel to Villa Park to square it out with Aston Villa as they seek redemption following their 3-0 defeat to Brighton. On Sunday, Newcastle will face off third place Nottingham Forest at St. James Park, while Manchester City will play host to league leaders Liverpool at Etihad Stadium, among other fixtures lined up for this weekend. Alright, so those are the fixtures for today, Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, the weekend fixtures. And of course, we have the big match, that is Manchester City will be welcoming Liverpool at Etihad Stadium in the Battle of the Titan. Remember, Liverpool are the league leaders in the midweek. They draw against Aston Villa 2-2. And of course, that was a break in their title credential as far as extending the gap is concerned. So right now they lead with 7 points, and of course after tomorrow's match, will they maintain the trajectory and of course the points, or it will be reduced to probably 4 points? Well, that is something interesting that we'll be waiting to see how that particular match will turn out to be. This is the Battle of the Titan. Remember, these are some of the two of the most decorated English Premier League teams. In the last, let's say, 5 seasons, the title has been won between Manchester City and Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool have only won it once, and right now they lead the race. Probably this will be their second in a span of 6 years. Remember, the most dominant team for that particular period has been Manchester City, but this time round things are falling apart for Pep Guardiola's side. Will this particular clash be the moment for them to bounce back and stretch to the final lap? Remember, this is the return leg, and things are really stretching out to the wire, even as the 2024-2025 season draw closer to an end. And remember, we are asking you in our question of the day, will Manchester City dent Liverpool title credential Will Manchester City defeat or rather dent Liverpool title hopes? Well, keep talking to us. We'll love to hear your views and comment in regard to this particular fixture. It's a big one, by the way, and nobody is sure where this match will actually pan out to be, because remember, these are two of the most successful teams in the English Premier League. You know, in as much as Manchester City, they have had their ups and downs this season, but this is a team that can really surprise you. They are not regulars, at least this time around, in winning their matches. But if there is one thing that Manchester City have shown us, that when it comes to big matches, they show up. Well, with exception to midweek's fixture against Real Madrid. But that one was really heartbreaking. But they were playing against a team that is dominant when it comes to winning UEFA Champions League. So the outcome was somehow expected, given the quality and the caliber of Real Madrid, and of course the stage that we are talking about, that is Champions League. So what's your take on that? Talk to us. Anyway, so we are taking a very short break. When we come back, we have a very interesting guest, and of course we'll be taking you through some of the analysis of our today's show in regard to the WAFCON qualifications, or rather the WAFCON qualifiers. We have the Vancouver Sevens. We have a packed up show lined up for you, and of course my guest will be helping me to unpack it for you and break it down for you in a simple way, so that you can understand what is really happening in the world of sports. And I'll be introducing my guest in just a while after this short break.
For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Right, welcome back, and this is the second segment of On the Sports Show. This is where we take you through some of the sports analysis, topics that are hitting headline. And of course, just like I told you, I have a very interesting guest with me today, Derek Odhiambo. Thank you so much for making time.
Welcome.
How was your weekend yako imekuwaje?
Oh, it has been good. With various sporting actions from yesterday's WAFCON, today early morning, rugby series, a bit of disappointment, and the upcoming match, Manchester United. Yeah, it's a great weekend.
Anyway, talking about the disappointment, let's begin with Vancouver Sevens. And of course, Kenya is in Pool A. Alongside Argentina, we have France and now the Great Britain. Well, our first match was against France, where we were beaten 24-0. The second match against France, 33-7. And of course, our next opponent, of which this is the last match of Group A, will be against Great Britain. Well, the two results against Argentina and France, how will this sum it up? Where did we failed on this one? I remember the coach prior to the match say that Argentina is a side that we have played with. In terms of physicality, they are very strong, and they needed to work on a very few areas, especially the aerials, and of course capitalizing on the opportunities that they get. Well, what really transpired, because 24-0 now, that is quite interesting.
No, when it comes to, first of all, the first loss, I think it is a very, very serious and worse loss. 24-0. First of all, before we even go to aerials, we need to consider how is our defense like. How is it 24-0? Many fans are worried we could even get a score 24-0. And mind you, Kenya is now number 9 on the World Series table. The upcoming match against Great Britain is just a close, is number 8-9. That's is going for our next match. Now, we can't say that maybe it was maybe just some small mistakes. No, they were not small mistakes. We are in a very, very bad position. Last series in Australia, we won, I think, one match. The other we lost, and we have this a bit like we were bigging up our players. Come on, just some few mistakes. No, we need to identify: is it defense or our attacking? How is it? Our views. Those you talk about aerials. How are they? Because if we are not careful, we might be heading back to relegation. Remember last year we in the Challengers series. Do we need to go back in the Challengers series? No. Our ladies are now in Challengers series, of which I'm even hearing like today, the squad has been announced. So I was speaking about the men's team. Last year we were in the Challengers series, and there was a big momentum that we showed, that struggle, that strength, and we managed to successfully come back to the main series. But since we came back in the main series from the first series, like we are not showing this fighting again. I remember in the first, I don't know, it was the first edition, it was a win about South Africa. I thought it could be maybe giving us a hope, but it's looking like it's not giving us a hope. So currently I can't say we are in good position. We're in a very, very bad position, and very frustrating. The Shujas have been maybe receiving some backup like M-Pesa, Sport Pesa, but no, the spirit's not giving.
Okay. So the first one was we had the Dubai Sevens, then we had the Cape Town Sevens, Australia Sevens. Now we have the Vancouver Sevens. Kenya sits ninth in the table standings, and this is something that really it's not what many would have expected from Team Kenya, but in this particular match, remember it's all about statistics, and there's a team that has really beaten Kenya 21 times, and Kenya has only managed to win against Argentina only 7 times. So when you look at the history and statistics, this tells you that this is a team that is really quite strong, and just like the coach said, this is a team that is quite physical. Do you think probably the physicality and of course the technical aspect of it could be the reason why maybe Kenya did not score in this one?
At one point I may agree with you, but at another point maybe I won't agree with you. True, in physicality, Argentina this season is very, very strong. Currently they are the second on the table, behind Fiji, who is first. For them being second on the table, that one you can say playing against them is a big is a big competition, even though we are still asking ourselves even maybe a score. How we couldn't even score a single score. But in this, I think it was in Cape Town or where the first 2 editions, the time that we managed to beat South Africa, despite them being number 4 on the log, but it's also a strong team, strong sevens. Why can't we even get a single score against Argentina? Yes, I agree Argentina is a strong team, but if we cannot even get a score, which means when you get maybe a medium, not a lower, but a medium team like, for example, Australia, it will be difficult to beat them. Okay. Because now it seems like every team in this log is going to frustrate us from the top up to the bottom. France is here, number 5. Again, is becoming a difficult team for us to beat. Okay. Yeah.
So what must we do to get it right when we play next Great Britain? What should we work on?
I think maybe physicality is how is the physical strength of the Shujaa squad? Maybe the coach need to identify some 1 or 2 mistakes. I remember last year there was an issue before this season could begin. There was an issue of some players didn't want to show up for the trainings because of some financial issues. But come on, this thing was sorted out. Or does it mean that this thing is not enough for the players? Maybe players are lacking some morals, or what does it mean? So I think that's the physical and also our tactics, the attacking line, and to defend our goals. How do we come up with those ideas? Yeah.
All right. Even as we reflect on the Vancouver Sevens, another performance that many thought is a very quite disappointing, given the fact that we were playing on home soil, and of course the advantage of the 12th man. I'm talking about now Harambee Starlets' performance against Tunisia, a match that this is the Africa Cup of Nations Women qualifiers, and Kenya shared a stalemate draw against Tunisia. They'll be heading to Tunis to play against Tunisia still in the return leg, and the match is quite wide open for any team now. The point is up for grab. Remember, whoever wins this encounter will be facing either Niger or Gambia for the ultimate final round of the qualifiers to punch the ticket in the 2026 AFCON. Well, we were at home, we fumble. Beldin Odemba really filled in quite a strong team, if you ask me. Quite a strong team with very experienced players. But when you look at the defense line for Tunisia, they were very compact and discipline-wise when it comes to defensive coordination. And in the front attack for Harambee Starlets, we really shoot blank, and we really squandered a lot of opportunities to kill the game. What approach should we use heading now to the second leg to make sure that at least we proceed to the next round?
Before I even reach to the approach, let me first of all congratulate the squad, the team. But currently, Kenya, the fans are a bit frustrated right from yesterday, because, as you said, we did lose so much, and there were like nice chances, very very clear, and these big chances, and it was a bit disappointing when you consider that we had this like a large turnout. It was like a big turnout. People came from far. Let me talk about the technicality. When you put a bit of observation in the last day's game, when Coach Odemba decided to maybe start, I can't say some players maybe they are not that much renowned, but decided to sub or even bench. She benched off players like one of the Tanzania top scorers. Not only her, but many of the big names. In Kenya right now, we have these big female players who are top scorers of the leagues that they are currently playing of, including top scorer of Egypt, top scorer of Morocco League. Why were they being sidelined? Why? Another question was, why when you look at the players, most of them were being put the position which they are not like naturally meant to play. It was like a mixture of position. Someone playing in midfield, but that's not actually her position. Why do that? And the coach needed to maybe observe and learn the game and maybe use another tactics. He wasn't doing that. We were not seeing maybe the change. When you see a lot of chances being wasted, you need to come up with tactics. Why wait until 90 minutes? And even the sub I'm talking about, our one of the Tanzania top scorers, he was placed in the game at the 90th minute there. It was a bit frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, remember the coach had a pool of 36 players to choose from, and very limited time to do her chemistry, trial and error, to make sure like she gets the right player for the right position. But given the fact, when you look at the starting lineup, it's fair to say it was a very quite strong team. I can tell you for sure. Some of the key points to note heading to the second leg is that we were really blunt in the attacking line.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
True.
And Tunisia really, I think for them they had one goal in mind: come and frustrate Kenya, then wait us in Tunisia, and we are not sure what will happen. And if you were to talk about football matters in terms of even FIFA ranking, they are ranked ahead of Kenya, and will be away, and you don't know what will happen in Tunis. And of course, for me, I think that that game, it was ours to lose it, because there were two clear chances. Probably say tungekuwa 2 goals ahead, heading to Tunisia.
You see, first of all, it's a big question. When you see teams like Tunisia, these countries from the north, when you go to play them at their home ground, it's so very, very difficult game. According to the statistics of the African teams, it's very, very difficult to beat a North African country team at their home ground. But we had a chance, a very, very clear chance here in Kenya. The fans came, we had the advantage of home ground. But what did we do in return? We wasted our clear chances. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves, Tunisia, I think it's 78 or 79 in the FIFA ranking log. Kenya is 149, if I'm not wrong. In the log, there are difference of about 70. But as you look, if you clearly take a look at the past Tunisia record, it was not that much that you can say Tunisia is a big team that can frustrate us even in their home grounds. Maybe if Kenya, like if this issue that we were talking about yesterday, the coach Odemba can come up and decide, see, I'm going to do this. Yeah, we can frustrate Tunisia at their home ground. If we need to employ these people that we are saying maybe were subbed off, or if maybe the coach had a clear look of the game, and maybe use her tactics or new tactics, we can have a win against Tunisia. Because and remember, I don't think in this tournament we were given maybe like let's say a tough team, because after here the winner is going to play either Gambia or Niger.
So wewe dheu unaona Kenya Harambee Starlets wanaweza hii kitu, wanaweza enda huko watese sana Tunisia, because ukiangalia the last 5 matches Tunisia like their most recent walidraw, wamepigwa, so this is not a team yenye unaweza TA tuwatishia hivi. Kenya tuko na very good strikers.
True.
We have the likes of Gentrix, Shikangwa, we have Mwanalima Aisha.
True.
Good players. And in the local league, remember we have the top scorers. One from Bungoma Queens. Yeah, alikuwa called up to the squad. So for me, like, my only problem ni attacking. Like for yesterday's game, tuli shoot blank. So going forward, as we head to Tunisia, we really need to work on our missed chances to make sure that we capitalize on these chances that we get, because football it's a game of goals. Goals. Now at the same time, the team that makes fewer mistakes and the one that capitalize on those mistakes,
true.
That is the difference between a winner and a loser. And for me, I think like we had chances and we did not capitalize on those chances, and it might come to hunt us.
If you're not careful, it will hunt us. But if you are careful, you talked about our attacking. When you look at our first half squad, there was a question a bit about the experience when you compare to the bench and the starting 11. People were saying like the bench were a bit more experienced than others. When it comes to striking or when it comes to the attacking, that's where the question of experience come in. I can say about myself, when you talk about missing chances, I don't think if an experienced player can really have, even if a single, but I don't think if an experienced player can have those much experience, those much wastage of chances. Players like Aquino and one of the Tanzanian top scorer, look, she was placed in the game at the 90th minute. What if maybe if the coach could have just taken a nice look of the game, maybe at this after second half at this 50th minute, then put in these experienced players, could we have missed those chances? No. For me, I think when we go to Tunis, let's employ these players and let's give them like a chance. Yeah.
All right. Now from matters of football to matters of boxing, Ndondi. Well, on this day, the Saturday, the 22nd day of February, remember we have elections going on. This is the county election that will set a stage for the national election. So a very interesting thing here to note is it's only 5 counties that actually want to vote for their chairman. The question is, what about the 42 counties? Because this is not even a quarter of. So the reason why we are having 5 counties is because hawa ndo comply with the Sport Act of 2010. Very interesting. So this election was supposed to be carried out last year, but because many teams had not registered and they lacked enough, shall I say, quorum or number, it was forced, or rather it was pushed forward to this year, 2025. And surprisingly, tuko tuna election in 5 counties. Let me mention them. Very notorious, or rather famous counties. Nairobi, 1. Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, and Laikipia. 5 counties wenye watakuwa wana choose their chairman. Well, mimi first of all, kitu tu yenye, in fact, what baffles me is the fact that it's only 5 counties. What about the 42? And what does it tell about our federation, the boxing federation? Because I believe that if you want to be very competitive, lazima pia, if in the spirit of the game, lazima chances, opportunities equal spread over. Does it mean like boxing iko tu kwa these 5 counties only, or what is happening?
I think that that shows a bit unseriousness in the federation. First of all, what's a big role of federation? Why form a federation when a sporting event is not practiced in many parts of the country, or it's not being serious in many parts of the country? Why have this federation? Or right at the moment when the boxing federation was established, it was its role, those people's role, to ensure that this sporting is being carried out in different parts. That's why it's called Kenyan Boxing Federation, Kenya. Its mandate to make sure that these activities, even maybe not 100% of our counties, but maybe we could speak of 40, at least it will be enough. I think even the international federation can have this like question mark. How do you expect this? Maybe there's this player from Mombasa, but maybe can't find a club because, or I mean, let's say a county like Kwale, a player from there can't find a club because it's being seen like the country is not fully registered or having to be fully complying to the boxing league. When you come, let's say now 5 counties only are the one going to participate in these elections. 5 counties only. Now, let me say, if the winner of this election is being observed, we can say that he was elected by these 5 counties. Now, when it comes to running of the matters, I think they'll be like, how prepared will this new leader, or even the leader that will be re-elected or elected, how will he take over or run the country's boxing operation in other counties that were not previously or didn't even elect him? You know, as long as this federation, there's this sporting activities, there's also sports politics, like in the FKF. Maybe there's this politics of, I need this favor for my region. We need to work this thing for my counties. We need to work this. What do you expect maybe in Siaya? What do you expect maybe in Mandera? But I believe there are very, very big talents in every county. But this is one of the thing, or one of the factors that maybe is limiting them. Only 5 counties participating in an election, and the Kenya Boxing Federation is like accepting to go on with the election in that state. For me, it's not that normal. It's just not normal.
Okay, even as we try to reflect on this, very disturbing state of affairs when it comes to the boxing, the Kenya Boxing Federation, only 5 counties taking part in the elections out of 47 counties, and it begs big question: what about the 42 counties? This is not even a quarter of the counties that we have in Kenya, and boxing matters is something that is widely spread across the country, and we believe any sports is an equal opportunity for players, and of course let me talk about boxers and even the representative from all the 47 counties across the country. Well, and of course, to really emphasize that the reason why we are having even a fewer counties taking part in these elections is because the federation, or rather not any, I would say, like, not many teams had registered for this particular very important process to take place, and it raises a lot of questions than answers, and we just hope that maybe in the near future something will be done to change the state of affairs. And now I want us now to transition to something very important. I'm talking about now the UEFA Champions League. Remember, we have the round of 16. The draw is out, and in the playoff, we saw what happened with Manchester City. Of course, Real Madrid really entertain us to some
Yeah,
fancy and amazing football,
football.
and it was quite amazing. Football is fun,
True.
and it's so sweet.
I think when you speak about that playoff game of Manchester City against Real Madrid, let's take a look first of all at the first leg at the Etihad Stadium. First of all, the fans had this anticipation. Maybe Man City fans wanted to pass a message to Vinicius Jr. They had this big confidence, and they did this despite of the maybe not good form in the league for Manchester City, but they decided to do this. I don't know, it was a bit maybe of frustration for Real to lose, but despite this, Real came back and win. Real had this, I can call it a great comeback, you see, and in fact Vinicius Junior, who was being targeted by the fans, was the man of the match. I think Man City, for me, in the first leg match, they wasted their home advantage. At that game, I think they showed a bit of strength. They could have just maintained their early win. At the second leg game, I think Man City was kind of weak. Real overwhelmed Man City at every point. Yeah, Real clearly, even when you take a look, like we could just say there's no hopes that Man City can take back this game. But in the first leg, Man City had a chance to maintain their win. Maybe in the aggregate, when it comes to the second leg, maybe the aggregate could have forced them to go up to the extra match. Okay. But I think Man City wasted their chance in the first leg. But the main question is, why did the coach Pep Guardiola sub Haaland and place him? I don't know if it was in the 90th minute, because it was Haaland was in bench. He was not having an injury. Fans came up with this question: what's the relationship there between Pep and Haaland, or maybe what is the physicality of Haaland? Is he fixed enough to play? What was the problem? Because some fans believe that maybe Haaland could have bring a difference, but for me, I don't think if there'll be that much difference, because when you see the squad that Carlo Ancelotti used, Rudiger, another defender, and he also I can't call it misplacement, but he also look, Bellingham was in that game. Valverde, the midfielder was kind of switching, so you could not have predicted the next move. But look at Mbappe. Mbappe could make an easy run. Man City's defense was just, I can call it the Man City's defense that it was weak because of Mbappe. Yeah.
Well, at the round of 16, this the UEFA new format. The UEFA new format has really shocked a lot of people. From the 34 to 36, this time round, team playing at least in the normal one it was 6 games. This time round 8 games. The top 8 teams qualifies automatically to the round of 16. 9th to 24 they'll go to a playoff. Then the winner of the playoff now get a spots to the round of 16. This is quite interesting, and of course we have seen the big dogs, the big predominantly the big teams that many people expected that they will dominate, and of course in the maybe top 8 they'll be there. Let me give you a very good example. In the playoff we had Bayern Munich fighting for survival. We had, imagine, Real Madrid and Manchester City fighting for survival at the same time, and it's fair to say for the first time we'll see, or the question was, what is a Champions League without Real Madrid? How will it be? Total chaos.
I knew it. For me, I just knew that Real Madrid could just be joking in these first league phase games. But I think so many people knew that when it come now to serious matter, like when it come to knockout stage, Real Madrid don't let it go, especially when it come to UEFA.
Okay.
even in the past when this new format didn't come, you could see Real Madrid were not being serious in these group stages. But when it come to quarterfinals, those round of 16, semi-finals, they do not let that go easily. So for me, I knew maybe even if Real goes to the playoff, they still have this big chance of defending the league.
All right. Now let's take a look at some of the fixtures in the round of 16. There, our first match we have this is a big one. Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool, and one team must go home. Well, that's a must. One team must go home after the round of 16.
Yeah.
One team must go home. Liverpool, PSG. Who is going home?
I think PSG can go home because Liverpool is kind of strong.
Well, Liverpool is overrated. For me, I see Liverpool going home. Take it to the bank. Hiyo naye mtaniambia.
Are you sure?
For sure.
Okay.
Hii Champions League, Liverpool. Ndio sasa. Hiyo naye ni uongo.
Maybe in the semi-final or in the quarter-final. But I think watapenya kwa PSG.
Ngoja uone. Si game ni 90. Tulia.
Okay.
Another one, Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. This one is a very interesting affair. Club Brugge versus Aston Villa for me. Quick prediction for you. Do you think it's the Belgian side or the English side?
Aston Villa, Club Brugge. The English side has a very, very nice advantage. But if Aston Villa is not careful, Club Brugge can frustrate them.
All right.
Based on their past records.
PSV, Arsenal. We have been there before.
Yeah. Even in the Europa last season, even in the UEFA still last season they were playing. I think Arsenal can do this. But as we are talking now, their squad is not that much
Make it
strong.
simple. Arsenal will go home. Don't be afraid. No fear.
Okay, that is a 50-50 for me.
Huh?
I think, but PSV can frustrate Arsenal. Trust me, this season.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. There's a derby.
It's a derby, and Real Madrid
a tough one.
cannot accept twice frustration. Despite being a derby, it's also like a rebellion or kind of dramatic in Real Madrid. When you see to Diego Simeone talking about these ill things about Real Madrid, Real won't allow, so Real for it. Real will go. Yeah.
All right, Barcelona, Benfica.
Barcelona will take it.
Borussia Dortmund, Lille.
There, Borussia Dortmund will have it.
Bayern Munich, Bayern Leverkusen. Very interesting.
I don't know Bundesliga derby or that one is a 50-50. Bayern can have it, Leverkusen can have it. But if Leverkusen is not being careful, Bayern can go with it.
Bayern can go with it.
Yeah.
Feyenoord, Inter Milan. Feyenoord.
Let me believe in the new Feyenoord coach. Yeah. I think Van Persie was announced as the new head coach. So let me put my faith in Van Persie that it can deliver.
That it can deliver.
Yeah.
All right, and let's for me a quick one. For me, I know that I'm only sure about two teams that will not make it to the next round.
Cool.
I'm sure about Arsenal and I'm sure about Liverpool. The rest, we'll wait and see.
One of the reasons maybe I could want Arsenal to proceed, I want to watch Arsenal versus Real Madrid, then the Real Madrid thrash them even.
You wish, but in reality, it is impossible. All right, now let's switch gears to the English Premier League. And of course, we have some very interesting fixtures. The early kickoff, it was between Everton versus Manchester United, an early kickoff that began at 3:30 p.m. East African time. Then we have a couple of fixtures lined up for today. Bournemouth versus Wolves. Then we have Ipswich Town will be playing against Tottenham Hotspurs. We have Southampton will be playing against Brighton. Arsenal in a London derby against West Ham. Then we have Fulham versus Crystal Palace. That is another London derby. Then we have Aston Villa will be playing against the mighty Blues, Chelsea. Well, for that Chelsea, kuna shida mahali. Ukiniangalia nilikuwa nimeanza kunaona ndugu yangu. Life used to be good. Every weekend,
Sorry.
3 points, easy win, you enjoy life.
It's a Maresca problem.
Lakini sahi mambo imekuwa kidogo inakanganya. Then on Sunday, on Sunday's fixtures, we have that is Newcastle will be up against Nottingham Forest. Then Manchester City vs Liverpool, the battle of the Titan. And this is where we are asking a question of the day. Do you think Manchester City will dent the hopes of Liverpool to lift the 2024-2025 title? Do you think Manchester City will dent Liverpool's titles hope? That is the question of the day. Keep talking to us. Do you think Manchester City will dent Liverpool's hope?
No, I don't think so. Liverpool is strong, and even maybe if Man City wins tomorrow, Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, they're a bit wamelegeza their game kidogo. We expected a bit this toughness, but even Man City kiwin kesho, but as Liverpool has the biggest chances of winning the league currently as we're speaking. Yeah.
Unajua ile uchungu yote ya midweek ndo Manchester City naletea Liverpool.
Na Liverpool pia ile uchungu yote ya midweek ya Aston Villa.
Na wako Etihad.
Yeah.
And you know that Liverpool naye kupiga Manchester City Etihad naye ni struggle. Imekuwa kitambo. I can't even remember the last time they did.
That's why I put an if statement, even if Man City defeat Liverpool. Of course, it's a tough game. Man City hawatakubali Liverpool to defeat them again. Because what they imagine the image.
Home and away aje.
Home and away. They won't allow it. Even if their squad wamelegeza kiasi, but I think it will be a very, very crucial match, and they won't allow to be beaten home and away. So Man City have higher chances of winning, but again, maybe anything can happen because Liverpool is another strong side.
Another strong side, but recently, sijakuwa convinced.
In the Wolves game, they disappointed us. In the second half, Wolves waliwapeleka vizuri sana. Aston Villa, for me, I know the frustration that Aston Villa used to even give Manchester United in these big games. So I expected that. I even expected a win. Even Marcus Rashford wasted some chances. I expected a wish for Aston Villa.
Rashford, tunamjua. Hakuna kitu. Ni nyani hata ukimpeleka another Forest. Atabaki tu nyani. Anyway.
Yeah.
So even as we wind up
as we are speaking right now, the in the Manchester United against Everton game is a bit frustrating. At the 19th minute, Everton have just scored one goal. It's 1-0.
Are you surprised?
Not that much surprised, because Man United is also, maybe they call themselves a comeback
toka hapo ndugu yangu. Tumalize hii kitu. Hiyo comeback hiyo sahau. Iliisha kitambo. The golden days iliisha.
But okay, the Ugarte is back. Euro is back. But maybe the problem is Ahmad is not back.
When fan wa Man U.
Exactly, that's why I'm trying to defend it even when we know things are not good. Yeah.
Anyway, so even as we wind up, let me give you like close to just a second or 30 seconds, to be precise, for your closing remark, even as we wind it up.
Maybe my closing remark, I'll just start by maybe a message to Amorim. As I know Amorim is kinda on a bit pressure, but I don't like the way he handled press conferences recently. Maybe I understand the first time maybe it could be this, he wanted just to accept or to tell fans that don't expect a lot from us. We are not a big team currently. He said that. I think yesterday's interview, press conference, he came again and just said that Moyes is a strong. I think he said that Moyes is currently having like a strong run in the league. We expect him to a bit show that confidence. Yeah.
Well, there is nothing wrong to be truthful men. That is what Manchester United coach is saying. Hii team ni kiwete. Na accept ni kiwete. Na it's good. Continue. Very fantastic. Now we have come to the end of our show. Many thanks for you, Derek Odhiambo, for making time, for you, our esteemed viewers, for always keeping us a company, and of course for the men and women behind the scene, all those who made this production a success. A big salute to you, and do have a very fantastic and lovely week ahead, or rather weekend ahead. Until next time, stay safe and enjoy.